Imagine, you are talking to a person who lived 4,000 years ago. Imagine that you want to describe a hybrid SUV. Will you be able to do this? Probably not. Will a person understand that this vehicle looks like and why it was made in the first place? Will this person understand what you are talking about? How long will it take you to explain what a hybrid is? It's almost impossible. We encounter a similar problem when reading chapter 21 of the book of Revelation. Yohanan or John could not bring us photographs. It is almost impossible to explain what our heavenly home looks like in human language. It's almost impossible. However, there are some things we are able to see. There are certain glimpses of heavenly glory, and we will talk about them. One of the 7 angels holding the 7 bowls of God's wrath shows the New Jerusalem. Yohanan writes, "Then came one of the 7 angels holding the 7 bowls full of 7 final plagues, and he spoke with me, saying, 'Come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb.'" Amazing vision. It is no coincidence that the angel who will participate in the final destruction of the earth shows Yohanan the New Jerusalem. Although this angel is a destroyer, he is nevertheless a friend to all who worship the Creator. We should not be afraid of this angel. In our text, the city is named the bride. Previously, we discussed that the term bride is applicable to the people of God. Why does John or Yohanan call the city bride? One biblical text explains this phenomenon. If we open the first letter of Peter, we will find amazing words. "You also," says Peter, "as living stones are being built up as a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Messiah Yeshua." According to Peter, Yeshua's disciples constitute the great structure of the spiritual house. Why is it important? It is important because the New Jerusalem is not only walls or streets. The New Jerusalem is people. It is you and me. The New Jerusalem will be surrounded by magnificent glory. This glory exceeds everything we can imagine. Yohanan says, "Having the glory of God, her radiance like a most precious stone, like a jasper, sparkling like crystal." Wow. Just wow. Why does John compare the radiance of the city to jasper? He sees something and he uses this metaphor. First of all, jasper exists in different colors. Using jasper for comparison may indicate that the light surrounding the New Jerusalem has all the colors of the rainbow. It's very nice. It's beautiful. Second, we read that this is not just glory, it is the glory of God. In Revelation 4, we see a description of Him sitting on the throne. Describing God, Yohanan or John uses the comparison of jasper when speaking about the appearance of the Creator. Now we see the same glory surrounding the city. The New Jerusalem is not just glorified by God. The New Jerusalem will be covered with God's glory. You and I will live surrounded by the glory of the Creator, and this is the point. This speaks of both magnificence and responsibility at the same time. We will be surrounded by God's glory. Yohanan or John continues. She, the city, had a great high wall with 12 gates, and above the gates 12 angels. On the gates were inscribed the names of the 12 tribes of Bnei Israel, or children of Israel. During the course of the earth history, it may have seemed that the Israel of God did not meet the expectations. Many tribes were lost in Assyrian captivity. We know about that. Nevertheless, in heaven we see 12 tribes again. We see that God's plan will be fulfilled and the Israel of God will reign with their Creator forever. From the angel, John learns about the size of the New Jerusalem, and this size again is amazing. The city, says Yohanan, is laid out as a square, its length the same as its width. He measured the city with the rod 12,000 stadia. Its length and width and height are equal. The city is depicted as an enormous cube, measuring approximately 1,500 miles in each direction. Isn't it amazing? The city is built from the finest materials, reflecting the wealth and splendor of the Creator. Yohanan continues, the material of the city's wall was jasper, looks exactly like the Creator, while the city was pure gold, clear as glass. Likely, the city reflects the glory of the Creator. One of the most striking things is the absence of the temple. There is no temple building in the New Jerusalem. Yohanan says, I saw no temple in her, for its temple is Adonai, Elohei Tzevaot, and the Lamb. The temple is the Lord, our God. Yeshua previously spoke of his body as a temple. We read about this in the Gospel of Yohanan or John. Now, we see that the words about the temple are fulfilled literally, friends. Literally, God himself and the Messiah are the temple of the New Jerusalem. In conclusion, Yohanan says that there will be no more night. No night forever. Its gates, says Yohanan, shall never be shut by day, for there shall be no night there. The first part of this verse alludes to Isaiah chapter 60, where we read about the gates of Jerusalem, which shall always be open. This is in verse 11. The second part of the verse alludes to Zechariah chapter 14, verse 7, where we read about the continuous day. Thus, verse 25 in Revelation speaks of the fulfillment of the most wonderful prophecies of the Bible. These prophecies are about the new world in which there will be no sin and darkness associated with it, but only God's glory and God's light will surround the people of God. Friends, do you want to live in such a city? The choice is yours today.